Have you ever had to deal with this festival or concert going type experience? I would love confirmation on this.
I have been to certain concerts and certain festivals where people wear diapers so that they can be front row of the show. And that's been an experience as a performer that I've smelled and experienced.
That is insane behavior.
It's also like in like the ball drop in New York for like New Year's Eve. Everyone is wearing diapers. They sit there all day.
You're pranking us.
No, that's the thing. I think about it kind of often.
I'm actually speechless.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Olivia Rodrigo, one of the biggest pop stars on the planet, with a #1 album, which is really good, saying out there in the world with her true, honest, and pure heart that she herself, as a live performer, has experienced performing live on a festival stage and smelling someone's poo-poo pee-pee diaper because they don't want to leave the front row area of the festival to see their favorite headliner perform because they're up against the, the barrier. So to keep themselves in that spot, they wear a diaper so they don't need to go to the bathroom. Can anybody else attest to this? Can anybody else who has been to a concert, been to a festival, been to the types of places where people camp out for these kinds of things, say that they have witnessed anything similar? Just wear a swimsuit. What would that do? Would just the pee go through the swimsuit? What if you have to poop? Are you just pooping on the floor? A friend of mine once told me to bring a diaper to a Tool concert because we were going to shit our pants. Okay, well, that's different. That's different. The vocals of Maynard can make anybody poop their pants. That's true. I wore a diaper to be front row at the Nine Vicious show. You would. I witnessed people piss themselves at Turnstile. For what reason? Just because they're seeing Turnstile, or was the pit that exciting? How long do people have to stay in place to get and stay front row? I mean, it's pretty crazy. I just recently went to GovBall, and there was a very weird dynamic going on there this year. Each day had a major, relevant, huge K-pop artist performing that day. Cat's Eye was one day, Jenny was another, and then Stray Kids were all on, all performed on separate days. I feel like if you really wanted to sort of keep things comfortable and sensible at the music festival, you would maybe have all of those performers on a main stage on one day and sort of maybe have a certain day dedicated to like K-pop. But I feel like they kind of broke it up into separate days with the hopes and with the expectations that the K-pop fans would buy tickets for all 3 days to see all these other K-pop artists. But not only do I think that plan didn't really work, because a lot of K-pop fans tend to have specific favorites and maybe not are hardcore enough followers of many other groups to buy tickets for a lot of those other artists, especially I do think there is sort of separations among the fandom between Stray Kids, Jenny, and also Cat's Eye. I don't think they have the same fan bases within the K-pop world. I mean, if somebody in chat knows better than me, please correct me, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. At least that's not what I saw sort of on the ground at the festival. It sort of seemed like on the Cat's Eye day, there were a lot of people with Cat's Eye merch who were just there for the day that Cat's Eye was playing to see Cat's Eye and didn't really care that Stray Kids was playing a few days later. A lot of the people who were there to see Stray Kids did not come during the day that Cat's Eye was playing because they didn't want to see Cat's Eye or anybody else who was playing that day too. So what I'm trying to say here is a lot of these K-pop performers were on the bigger end of the festival lineup and were most likely playing later in the day. And in order to be front row for a lot of these shows at GovBall, people were camping out for many of these artists by the time the festival grounds opened and were right up front against the barrier. Not only that, but taking up the whole front section of VIP and in front of the stage in order to wait it out through all these other acts that they were clearly not there to see, and were like sitting on the ground, like, you know, cross legs in circles, and, you know, just kind of like, you know, ignoring the pit as much as they could, and just kind of like taking up this area in front of other artists who maybe their fans wanted to be closer and see them, but instead of being able to do so, they were kind of blocked by these K-pop fans that were waiting around for Stray Kids and waiting around for Cat's Eye, and didn't necessarily, you know, want to see anybody else who was there at the festival. So it's almost like they were kind of like blocking the ability for other people to kind of like rotate in and out of each set to see the performer that was coming on before their K-pop fave, because they just wanted to sit there and make sure that they had that spot when they actually eventually took the stage. So it created a very weird dynamic where these people were like literally sitting there from maybe 11 a.m. or 12 noon until like 6 or 7 o'clock at night without leaving that spot to eat, to go to the bathroom, to do anything, just so they could make sure that spot that they wanted was on lock to be down in front. And I imagine in that scenario, like, somebody's got to be peeing in a diaper, no? Like, somebody's got to go to the bathroom at some point. God, that's toxic fandom shit. No, it really kind of is. Unless you have IBS, I could just imagine it's ever that serious. Yeah, maybe you bring a diaper to the concert if you have IBS or something, you have like a personal problem, something like that. You should get kicked out immediately or imminently if you smell like poop. No, it's true. If you smell like poop, you should probably get kicked out of a concert. Like if it's such a strong poop smell, everybody around you can smell it, you should probably be getting kicked out of the concert, frankly. Nobody should be having poop smell in a concert unless you have a fan base that generally smells like poop, like 50% of the time. If that's just kind of the vibe, then, you know, I suppose that would be a difficult rule to enforce, unless they're all there sort of like up front waiting and pooping together in unison. They're like, they can't get rid of all of us. Not if we're all pooping.